People, another video out today. I know it's been long and overdue. I've been focusing on the shorts. The shorts have been going crazy as well. Thank you for all the support, all the new subscribers and everything. I really do appreciate it. This video is a bit different. This one's like a one-to-one that I did with someone. Listen, if you want to have a one-to-one with me, or you want to have a conversation with me about any of these types of things, the mind, perception, conceptions, your beliefs, how to break mental barriers, anything like that, hit the description below and we can sort something out. But apart from that, I hope you enjoy the video. Yeah, cheers. You've been seeing what I've been posting on Instagram and I don't know if you have me on TikTok and whatnot. So do you have any questions? What's your thoughts? Do you agree? Like,
I agree with everything you're saying, broski. You also, the craziest thing is what I'm gonna find there's a video where you're speaking on something, and I think it was when it was like, when you have a conversation with someone without you knowing, my man programmed something in you.
Yeah, 100%.
Without you even knowing, bro.
Dropping seeds, 100%.
Dropping seeds without you even knowing. It don't matter. It don't matter. Man could just speak to you, and you might still not even rate my man, but just having a conversation with man, and he spoke to you, he dropped a seed unintentionally, without fail, bro. Anyone you speak to drops seeds.
100%. But you have to understand though, yeah, when they're doing that, they're not talking in projection of you. They're talking from a projection of themselves. Do you get what I mean? So when they're saying that, they're saying that from a perspective of themselves. They haven't been able to, and it's how they view themselves. Do you know what I mean? So like, it could be something small as well, bro. Like, you might be like, obviously you want to start a clothing brand. So you might be like, I'm gonna start my clothing brand, and they're like, let's say in a month's time you want to get 1,000 sales. They might just be like, what? 1,000 sales in a month? Like, that's a bit hard. To get what I mean? But without them even realizing, they've dropped a little seed of doubt. But it's not their fault. You can't blame them.
How it was. When you said that, it clicked because I thought it's closer than home. Even then, for them to comprehend what you just said, bro.
Yeah, it takes it's just these things that I'm saying, you can't come at it with your intellectual mind. Do you get what I mean? It's not one of those things where you can just, it's not like a maths problem, bro, where you can, it's one of those things you have to hear it, internalize it, let it digest, and then somewhere along the line you're going to be like, it makes sense what he was saying. Do you know what I mean, bro? And it's like that with loads of things in life, bro. You can't just learn like something like that. It's all a journey and a process, and you have to have like a realization, but not from the intellectual side. It has to be from you. Do you know what I mean? And it's crazy, but that's also why I say, bro, like, humans, we're social creatures, but we're also our worst enemies, bro, because we're so programmable. Whatever the other person thinks, you have to be careful. You have to take it with a pinch of salt because of that person, of whatever they're going through, right? But then you also have to be careful, and you have to be disciplined in yourself and be a master of yourself to differentiate from them projecting themselves and what may be a fact. Or do you know what I mean? But remember, there's no such thing as really facts, bro. It's only what you believe to be true. Do you know what I mean? There's no, because one thing's fact for someone else and it can be not fact for someone else. But they're both
very true.
Do you know what I mean? But they're both correct in what they're saying. So you have to essentially differentiate and understand yourself to a point. And there was even a post, I even dropped it today. It's like, you can't let external circumstances or people sway how you think internally of yourself. Do you get what I mean? Because then you give them the power, bro. You now give them the power to create something for you which you didn't create, bro. Do you know what I mean? And it's serious stuff, and it's just about being aware, bro. Being consciously aware of what you're internalizing, your belief system. You have to know as well, like, do you know about the cause and effect that I talk about?
Not really.
So when I mean by cause and effect, you know everything has a cause and there has to be effect, right?
Yeah, 100%.
What I essentially say, everything starts in the mental up here. So this is the causal realm, right? The spiritual realm, metaphysics, all of that. That's the cause, right? The effect is reality. The effect is circumstance, right? So that's what I mean when I talk about cause and effect. So now, whenever you let a circumstance create a conception for you, you're given the effect the power to be the cause to create something for you that you didn't create. Do you get what I mean? But the reason why we're the cause and the mental is the cause, because everything starts up here first. In order for us to be talking on this Zoom call, someone had to think of Zoom first. Somebody had to think, I want 2 people to do this, and then they went along the process of materializing it physically. So basically everything that we see is frozen imagination, hence the reason why there's cause and effect. But obviously the ego self gets confused and thinks there is just this reality, because when we're hungry we eat food, so it fills our physical body, but it doesn't fill up here. We have up here, remember, there's 3 planes of existence. Do you know what I mean? And that's why people get confused. But I feel like a big thing is, bro, and even me, it took me not a while, it took a while, like I knew it, but external circumstances can't sway how you feel about yourself, because then if it does, you're not going to become anything, because we're the cause, bro. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, you know, where we come from a poverty background, right? If we let the poverty background and we use that as an excuse, it's giving us conceptions. Do you get what I mean? So it's telling us what we should be and how we should live. It's telling us, it's basically, that circumstance is telling us that we can't rise above it. But all we need to do is transcend past that and understand that that was just an effect, and essentially it's actually an opportunity for me to transcend on a higher level of thinking. Do you get what I mean? Because the only reason,
if we wasn't in poverty, we wouldn't even acknowledge that.
Say that again.
Because if we wasn't born in that position, we would say the people that are born rich.
That's why they stay rich. That's why they do. Yeah, bro. Because
they wouldn't learn. Okay, I get what you mean. Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So it's like both parties' circumstance has made their own conceptions. Hence the reason why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, because of obviously circumstance. But if you want to transcend that, bro. But if you want to transcend that, bro, you have to understand that the circumstance is the effect. You can be anything that you want, bro.
Okay, because you're not. That's not what you are. Okay,
that's not what you. That's not who you are inside you. Here, do you get what I mean?
Okay.
But in order for you to actually start thinking, and making moves that will catapult you towards wherever it is that you want to go, you have to start thinking like that in the first place. It's such an attachment to circumstances where it starts to control you. But you have to understand, bro, who you was like last year, you're not the same person, bro. Who you was last week, you're not the same person. Meaning, you have different thought processes, you have different things. So whatever you're seeing now is you had a different cause for it back then. Do you get what I mean? You can't associate like what happens with who you are, because you are not. You're changing every single day. We change. We have different thoughts every single day. We have different ideas every single day. We're not the same every single day, whether you're going backwards or you're going forwards. Do you know what I mean? But the key thing is to just not let circumstance control you, bro, and let it give you conceptions. It's you that creates the conceptions, because obviously you're a Muslim, right? And you believe in God, right?
Yeah.
What would you say the whole lesson of being a Muslim is? To become closer with Allah, right? To become one, to become more like Him, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, so if we extrapolate this to real life, whenever your God goes through something, what does He do? He doesn't see it as an obstacle, no. He doesn't let it bother Him, no. He doesn't. Cool. Let's not say God, because obviously we don't know. Let any of the prophets, right? They don't let circumstance get a hold of them. What do? They hold whatever they believe to be about God. They hold it true, and then what happens? As they say, as it says in the Bible or the Muslim, miracles. Why? Because they was not swayed from external circumstances. They stayed grounded in what they believed about
100%.
God. Do you get what I mean?
100%.
And a lot of people like to tie their source, their identity, to the external, but we're not tied to that. We're tied to something else. We're tied to God. Whether it's Christianity, whether it's Muslim, whether it's Buddhist, we're all tied to one source. It doesn't matter who we all think that source is, but we have to remember that we are tied to the source. Meaning, when we're tied to the source, That is the source of our money. That is the source of our happiness. That is the source of our love. That is the source of everything. So when something external happens, why do we let it sway how we feel? We let it disrupt the connection that we have to the source. Do you get what I mean?
Deep.
And whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, they all teach the same thing, which is what? To become closer and to become one with God. So how am I? They have whatever they believe, but it's all under the same thing, to become closer
100%.
to one God.
Trouble, be close
Do you get what I mean?
100%.
But obviously some people say it's different and whatnot, but that's not about it. But do you have any other questions? Anything else you think I can be of help? External means something that's outside of yourself. Internal, you just have to remember, internal, inside, external, outside, exit. Do you believe that you have to like die to feel that same side of light again?
Yeah. 100%.
I don't think. I think you can become very close. You can become. Obviously, I haven't experienced that light. You know what I mean? But I believe that you become very close through heavy meditation, bro. Like, if you sit still and be with yourself, you can feel whole, and you can feel that same sense that you felt there with just the message that I told you earlier. Like, you are one with God. Do you get what I mean? You are connected to Him. So any insecurities that you have or you feel in life, if you was to just sit down and meditate on that connection with God, it will disappear.